So he expressed his increasingly pessimistic view of human nature from the world wars. So art can produce pleasure, but it can also inspire sadness, horror, pity, awe, and a full range of other emotions. So art can be beautiful, but not all art tries to be beautiful. And beauty is not a requirement for art. That is the point. Okay, so let's move on to the art and appearances. So, so there are two, work of art. It looks like very different, right? So the left one is painted in the representational style based on the observation. And the right one is totally abstract work of art. But surprisingly, these two works of art are made by one artist, Pablo Picasso. So Pablo Picasso mastered this traditional technique while still a teenager. However, he soon abandoned it for a style of art known as Cubism. And it happened almost the end of the 19th century, not only Pablo Picasso, but also many other artists. Here's a quiz. Why? Why did art change suddenly? Can you guess why? Why Pablo?
Probably something happened in history, like something political or maybe something in his life.
Yeah, it can be. But there was something invented. It was invented in 19th century. Can you guess what it is? That's why many of artists abandoned the traditional style and then they choose the abstract style. Can you guess what it is? Okay, let me give the answer. So this is it. Photograph. Yeah, so the photograph it was invented. So for some artists, photography meant the end of the painting. The manual skills were no longer needed to create a visual record. So sometimes appearances of art has changed by a historical event. Like this. All right, so now let's talk about art and meaning. So art is always about something. And one brief definition of art is embodied meaning. Understanding art is a crucial skill and must learn. So for the first thing, you can find the meaning of art through form and content. So form is a physical appearances of the work. So everything the eye registers about it, such as colors, shapes, and internal organization. And content is what the work of art is about. And the next thing can be material and techniques to see the meaning of art. And the third one is iconography. So iconography means describing images. Iconography involves identifying, describing, and interpreting subject matter in art. And the last thing is context. So art does not happen in a vacuum. So many works of art related to the life and the society of its creators. Okay, so let's see the art and purpose. So sometimes art has purpose. So this is Tata workers' installation work, sugar babies. Can you guess what this work is about? Any ideas? So there are little, kids surrounding this giant sculpture. How they look like?
Maybe these are children, because I don't know, the way that she's laying there, she kind of looks like a sphinx, the way a sphinx would be on top of a pyramid.
Yes.
I'm not really sure what's in the bowl. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's in the bowl.
Mm-hmm. But they look like, it looks like, they're, kind of in the labor, right?
Right, like child labor.
Yes, yes. And can you guess what's the material of this sculpture? It's very white. There is a hint in the title.
Oh, you think that was made from sugar? Really?
Yes. Yes. Wow. Yes. This giant sculpture is made by Domino Sugar. We eat every day. Yeah. Wow. Yes. So the sugar was made by young African kids to import the sugar to the developed countries. And the kids were paid incredibly low labor wage. The worker brought art into a specialized space, evoking a connection between what took place there and larger social and historical issues. Very meaningful work. And here's another example. So this
I love this guy.
Yes, I love it too. One of my favorite. So this is Banksy's mural on Lake Street. Can you tell me what you can see here?
So it looks like he's whitewashing the images that's on the wall, and the images, they depict some sort of. It looks like some sort of war.
War, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Huh?
Pressure water.
Yeah.
It's pressure water to clean whatever is there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got the point. Very good. So the Banksy's mural painting, depicts a city worker mindlessly power washing a prehistoric rock painting off the wall. So much as workers routinely scrub unauthorized graffiti from walls today. So this painting draws a parallel between modern street art and the cave paintings of prehistory that we now consider to be priceless treasures of human patrimony. However, like graffiti artists, the cave painters did not have permits or government authorization to paint their images. So they just simply made their work for the public to see. So the artist want to say that point. So the question that artists of the 20th century posed about the nature of their task and the great formal variety of their responses to those questions served to map the territory of the word art. So we now understand that art can manifest itself in many more ways, like a painting, a sculpture, a video, an installation, a website, a computer program, a concept, a performance, and an action. So all these and more may be presented and understood as art. Okay, so now let me move on to another chapter. Okay, so the next chapter we are going to see is the themes of art. So art can hold many meanings and inspire multiple interpretations. So it may reflect more than one theme. So let's see what kind of themes we can find in work of art. So there are 7 themes. So mostly many of artists use this 7 themes. So the first theme is the sacred realm, and the next one is politics and the social order. And the next one is stories and histories, and picturing the here and now, invention and fantasy, and the natural world. And the last one is reflecting on the human experience. So people throughout history have turned to a world we cannot see except through faith. The sacred realm of the spirit, like gods or godness, and spirit of ancestors, and spirit of nature. But each society has formed its own view of the sacred realm and how it interacts with our own. So for example, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, and etc. So the sacred realm is one of the popular themes throughout the whole art history. And the next theme is politics and the social order. So this is an oil painting by Eugene Delacroix, Liberty Leading the People in 1830. So what you can see in this painting, I know it's kind of a blurry, but I'm sorry, but you can see the, very big symbols in this painting, though.
Looks like a revolution, like
yes.
a war.
Yes, exactly. It depicts the French Revolution. So in 19th century, art remained deeply involved with politics and the social order. So this is an unforgettable image of Parisians having taken up arms, marching forward under the banner of the tricolor representing liberty, equality, and fraternity. So Eugene Delacroix, Liberty Leading the People, leaves no doubt about the artist's support for the revolution of 1830. And Delacroix completed the painting in the very same year, and it retrains the passion of his idealized view of the insurrection and the hopes he had for the future it would bring. And this is Pablo Picasso's oil painting, Guernica. This is one of Pablo Picasso's best known works. Can you guess what the painting is about? I know it's kind of hard to read.
It's about hoarding.
Huh? Yeah. Very good. So on April 26, 1937, Nazi Germany bombed the Basque town of Guernica. And it was one of the worst atrocities of the Spanish Civil War. So this Pablo Picasso's painting, Guernica, is regarded by many art critics as one of the most moving and powerful anti-war paintings in history. And some artists use narrative or storytelling through their work of art. So they have often turned to stories for subject matter, especially stories whose roots reach deep into their culture's collective memory. This is William Hogarth engraving printing work. Can you guess the story? Can you guess the story in this work of art? Well, you can see. Use your imagination.
This looks like a bunch of people in a town.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it kind of looks like they're down on like Skid Row or something.
Uh-huh.
The buildings are all cracked and everything looks gloomy except for the lady standing there in the dress.
Yes, apparently. Yeah.
And then even in the background, it looks like these are a bunch of women on some kind of wagon, and the man, I don't know if he's waving money, like I don't know, what is he buying one of them for, like, to work as a maid or something? Like, I don't know.
Very good observation. Wow, that was cool. So this image shows an innocent country girl, this girl, Mary Hackabout, who has arrived in London. So this is in London in 18th century. So the person who was to serve as Mary Guardian in the city appears befeathered in the background here. And leaving Mary to be met by an older woman. Unfortunately, the older woman runs a brothel and recruits Mary into prostitution.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a series of tragedies ensue, and the story ends with Mary's death after serving time in prison. It's a very sad story. And this is Judith Becker's mural painting, Great Wall of Los Angeles. So Judith Becker's work is based on recording history, on using the concrete walls of a drainage canal. The goal of the Great Wall of Los Angeles project is to represent the histories of the diverse populations of Los Angeles who are underrepresented in history books and school curricula. So the social order and the world of sacred history and the great stories of the past, all these are very grand and important themes. But art does not always have to reach too high. Sometimes it is enough just to look around us and notice what our life is like here, now, in this place, at this time. So this is survived in the tomb of Mektre of ancient Egypt. And ancient imagines the afterlife as resembling earthly life in every detail, except that is continued through eternity. To ensure the prosperity of the deceased in the afterlife, sense of the pleasures and bounty of life in Egypt were painted or carved on the tomb's walls. And this is an ancient Chinese painting, count ladies preparing newly woven silk. So this is a scene from a long hand scroll depicting women weaving, ironing, and folding length of silk. And daily work is also the subject of a painting made in Mexico in 1575. The artist recorded their traditional religious rituals, gods, agricultural practices, and art. So in this scene shown here, artists make clothing and regalia out of brightly colored feathers. And everyone would have had different lives and had different understanding of the words and their places in it. However, we also would have shared certain experiences just by virtue of being human. So many artists use their personal experiences as a theme of work of art. So, do you know this artist? She's very famous, Mexican.
Yep.
Yeah, artist.
Frida Kahlo.
Yes,
Yeah.
Frida Kahlo. She's an amazing artist. So, Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits, self-portraits, and works inspired by the nature and artifacts of Mexico. And inspired by the country's popular culture, she employed a native folk art style to explore questions of identity, post-colonialism, gender, class, and race in Mexican society. So there is a video in the Moodle Room about Frida Kahlo to show her life with her works. So please watch the video to understand her work of art based on her experience. And the next thing we are going to see is invention and fantasy. All right, so there is a very, there is a painting, looks like very complicated. Can you read this painting? There are lots of things, well, you can see.
It looks like a
orgy.
A tribe, like different tribes, or
yeah, tribes, lots of tribes, yes.
I think on the left side of the painting, it's more like calm, almost like heaven-like, I say.
Yeah.
Or in the middle, it's like it's like a bunch of orgies, I think.
Yep.
Like a planet Earth, like this is how Earth is.
Yes.
And at the right, it's like hell.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes, it looks like that. That's amazing. I love that.
Or it could be like a transcending of a civilization.
Yeah. So the artist create, a new world in this painting. So, so we can see hundreds of nude humans covered in a fantasy landscape, inhabited by giant plants and outsized birds and animals. The people are busy and inventive in these things they do too, and with one another. So they seem to be having a fun time, but their goings on are so strange that we are both intrigued and repelled by them. It's very interesting painting. And the next theme is nature, the nature world. So nature and our relationship to it are themes that have often been addressed through art. So during the 19th century, many American painters set themselves the American landscape as a subject. So this is Thomas Cole's oil painting, the Oxbow. He depicted the great looping bend of the Connecticut River as seen from the heights of nearby Mount Holyoke in Massachusetts. And landscape is the most important and honored subject in the Chinese painting. In the Chinese painting tradition, but its purpose was never to record the details of a sight or view. Rather, painters learned to paint mountains, rocks, trees, and water so that they could construct imaginary landscapes for viewers to wander through in the mind's eye. And we just went through 7 main themes of art. So there is a sketchbook project related to this chapter. Let's see what the first sketchbook project is. Okay. So this is our first sketchbook project, logo design with your name. So let's see what it is. So now let's just remind the 7 themes we just learned. There are 7 themes of art. So the sacred realm, politics and the social order, stories and histories, picturing the here and now, invention and fantasy, the natural world, reflecting on the human experience. We just saw all of them. Okay, like this. So this is a sacred realm example, and politics and the social order, and stories and the histories, picturing the here and now, invention and fantasy, the natural world, reflecting on the human experience. So for this project, you will need sketchbook, pencil, eraser, and any color medium you have. So let's see the name design process. So step 1, choose one of the themes of art you'd like to represent yourself. Now we just saw 7 themes, then you can just pick one of them to represent yourself. And then step 2, think about yourself. What is your favorite? Who are you? Your relationship, your personality, or your background, etc. And step 3, apply some of the things about yourself on your name design and design your name like a logo. And step 4, design the background based on a theme of art you choose. And step 5, color your name, logo, and the background. And then you're gonna just post you can just post in the beginning steps or just the plans today, and then you have to finish it by end of the course in May to submit the final sketchbook submission. So now let me share my logo design work as a sample from the idea sketches stage. So so I chose reflecting on the human experience theme in the 7 themes we just learned. And then, so here's my name, Sully Lee. So I was thinking about, myself, and turned out I was a daughter, wife, mother, art educator, graphic designer, and an artist. And I thought, what is my favorite role as a Sully Lee? And I thought my favorite is as an artist. So that was my brainstorming stage. So I'm gonna apply that stuff in my work of art. So I designed my name as a logo like this because I'm very organized person. So I just fit my name in the square shape. And then I used one of my work as a background because that's my favorite role in my life. So, and then I just, you know, put some colors on it because I think some other roles, you know, sometimes bothers my favorite role like this, you know, the mom stuff or daughter's stuff or, you know, educators stuff or, you know, designer stuff kind of, you know, covered my artistic, you know, video. But I don't think they can be make a harmony like this, you know. Turned out they make, you know, beautiful color and the image. And I always thought about my life as, you know, kind of, you know, up and down. So I put the, you know, arrow and the empty space like this. So that's the, you know, one of my work sample. So you don't need to do that. You know, you can just create your, you know, logo design yourself. So let me back to the sketchbook slide. So let me show you more examples. So this is one of my other students' work on Kayla. She designed, you know, her name like this, you know, very, you know, fancy style, and put the, you know, the circle, the dots, color dots on the background to represent her personality. And, you know, like this, looks very, you know, fancy logo design. You can design like that. Or if you want, you can just, you know, make it like a black and white like this with the pen. It's totally fine. Maybe the students loved the cartoon like that. And she made the graffiti style. This is awesome. And okay. And, you know, you can also, you know, do, again, black and white work like this. And this is a poster design, but the way to show typography in a silhouette is creative. So it can be a good reference for your design. And another work like this. So it doesn't need to be complicated, you know. Yeah, that's it. Any question about the sketchbook project?
Yes. When we do this sketchbook homework, do we have to write about it in the discussion?
Yes, yes. So let's go to the our Moodle room. So so when you're ready to post your work plan or process of your work, go to the Moodle room and go to week 2.
Week 2?
Yes, week 2. This is the second week.
I wanted to talk to you, right? In week 1, it wasn't allowing me to make a submission for a sketchbook. It was just like the class picking the artist and also telling about yourself or something like that.
So today you're gonna just, you know, choose one of the theme to represent yourself, and then you can just, you know, post these things here. So write your theme you choose, and if you're ready to post your work process, then you can write, why did you design your name? Like that. And why did you choose that theme for your name design? Okay, you can write these things. But, you know, it's, you know, you can just post your plans or beginning steps of your artwork. So, you know, you don't need to finish it today, okay? And here's a reference videos, to help your name design. And remember, by the posting, the sketchbook project posting due date is by tonight. And then by tomorrow, you're gonna reply to your peers, okay?